customers or companies that foster a culture of innovation, foster a culture of collaboration will win. They'll win not only because they've understood the importance of using machines to enrich the lives of humans at work, they'll do so because they put humans first and machines as a way of augmenting things that people do. So some market-leading companies have figured this stuff out. In our own world, I'll just give you two examples on this. Going back to this notion of millennials or digital natives, my friend Josh, who's sitting over here, is a prodigious user of Reddit. For those of you who don't know, Reddit is the 5th or 6th biggest website on the planet. And in many ways, it's the front door to the internet. It's where people get together and talk about any number of different things. And search and knowledge management technologies, recommendation engines really power the experience for people there. And it's really in using AI to provide assistive, immersive experiences for people as they're engaging with content. Red Hat, recently acquired by IBM, uses KM and AI to help their support agents be better at their jobs. They've dropped their service tickets by 50,000 and reduced their cost of ownership by over 90% by using AI to help service agents understand what to do and do their jobs better, even before oftentimes customers raise issues to them. And there are very many more examples like this. So the question then you might have is, well, how does this stuff actually happen? And it happens in the case of Reddit and in the case of Red Hat and any number of other folks, the SAS Institute, that they've kind of pivoted from thinking about the world from a data-centric, data-first perspective to a human-centered model. And I'll just call out a couple of these pillars. And that the number one thing is that for many of these companies who have approached it this way, is that it's not really about the data. It's about people, first of all. It's about empowering people. And taking it a step further, it's not about simply managing and collecting and storing data. Those are almost table stakes. Any sophisticated system has to be able to do that and has to be able to do so at scale. But it's about applying that data and creating experiences that make sense for people. And so this kind of requires a shift in focus from thinking about just architecture and IT and the systems complexity involved in it. Those things aren't going to go away, but you have to go kind of beyond that and to think about, well, how do we take this and make it make sense for people in every day and everything that they do? And kind of shifting the mindset from thinking about activity and learning from, or looking only at the past to thinking about intent and what does it mean for people at all times. So if you're with me so far, you probably want some details on how to achieve this techno-utopia. In our thinking at LucidWorks, we've kind of tried to crystallize this into a few points, and we apply them to how we design products. And maybe this is helpful to you as well. Number one is that systems have to automate processes, and the automation has to be intelligent. The complexity around data and entitlements and security is not going to go away. But you can't force people to have to deal with that all the time. If they do, then they're not creating, they're not innovating, they're not working with each other, and they're fundamentally not solving interesting problems. The second thing is that we think about it as a unified data layer. This kind of goes around with this ever-present idea of data silos or data dispersion. This problem is also not going away. In fact, it's probably getting bigger. Because if you think about this explosion of function-specific workflow and analytics tools, especially SaaS-based tools, there's analytics tools for any possible workflow you can imagine. The trick then in making people and empowering people and letting them apply design thinking to what they do is by creating software or buying software that abstracts a lot of these problems and shifts it from individual analysts or knowledge workers from having to deal with it. If you get that far, then we think about systems as being intent-driven. So search engines understand intent. This is the fundamental way in which they're different from databases. But as you think about either buying systems or building them on your own, then this is kind of an interesting way to apply a very simple but powerful shift in thinking, right? That understanding user intent is kind of the key to making this kind of digital disruption, digital transformation actually happen. And if you get this far, then designing systems that abstract away data complexity, think about common business models, and apply an intent-based approach to models can result in multiplier effects. So the next new applications that you build on use the same data infrastructure, use the same common business models, and remove the need to have to do everything on a one-off basis.